Hi, I'm Eliza Cece, and you're listening to Like the Dove podcast. After almost a decade of being immersed in and teaching New Age practices, God opened my eyes and heart to follow Him. Now I help ex-New Agers and new believers in their walk so you feel encouraged and less alone. Let's get into today's episode. Hello, my love. Welcome back to another episode. Today I am sharing a story of something that happened with New Age crystals that I still had in my home. Years after being saved, some of the things just seem to be popping up of like little last remnants of that old me. And so I wanted to share a story today about something that Jesus was really strong and adamant about with me about 2 weeks ago when this happened. And so I just want to talk today about there's always something more to let go of. And so I'm just going to jump right into this little story that I have about how we might not think that we are, but we do often cling to that old version of ourselves, even when we're not meaning to. So I'm just going to share with you this story. So about 2 weeks ago, I was very much in the midst of my 40-day Instagram fast, which today is my 41st day. So I have completed it and it felt really good. And I'm going to share more about that, more teachings and things that I learned and things that the Lord showed me during that time. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go back to episode 18 to listen to me share more about that and hopefully encourage you if you are unhappy with social media or just the amount of time that you're kind of having your phone in your hand and feeling like you're not living your life in a way that's glorifying God, or that you want to experience, even just thinking that you are just kind of getting distracted like that. I definitely hope that you'll go back to episode 18 and take a listen to that. I'm going to be sharing more about my experience with that because I really do feel in my heart like I'm done with Instagram. I'm done with social media. I did hop on Threads when it came out this week just to see what it was about, but so far I'm not really feeling called to bring my presence into that space either. And so anyway, go back to that if you want to hear my story about how I am just trying to refigure out some of the things, like really just kind of critically thinking and asking myself questions of in the places of my life where, like, is this glorifying God? Is this the best use of my time? Is this making me happy? All those kinds of things that I think are important. So anyway, I was in the middle of this fast, which was giving me so much more time to think and to pray and to be with the Lord instead of being distracted with my phone in my hand like I was previously. And, I wasn't down to 0% usage of my phone or anything like that. I still use it for work and, all the things, the normal things, checking in with people and all that kind of stuff, right? But I had more time and I was making it a more focused time with God. And so all these things, of course, started to come up for me. And one day you know how it is. The Holy Spirit just kind of sometimes comes out of the blue and convicts us, right? And so that's what happened. I was just kind of like going about my day. I think it was like organizing. I was throwing away some junk in the house, I'm not a sentimental person, so I tend to like regret it later sometimes, but usually I don't. I just really do feel like stuff is stuff, and I don't have too many things that are sentimental or anything like that in my home. And so when I was cleaning up, my eyes were just kind of like directing towards these crystals I still had in my home. And so these were crystals that I thought it was totally fine to keep my crystals because they were just beautiful to me. They had no more significance. Like I put on them when I was in the New Age. And so all of a sudden, Jesus was like, hey, you still have these crystals, and we need to talk about this. And so I was just like sitting in prayer and really just kind of feeling convicted by God, because God was really like, okay, why do you still have these? And so I want to break down, and I'll share a little bit more. For those of you who don't know, I used to be a flower essence practitioner, an herbalist, and a crystal healer. Not exactly a crystal healer, but I was trained in a Taoist way where you use crystals like in elixirs. Like you would make basically like crystal water, and it would be supposedly nourishing your body and, like quote unquote healing certain things. And so I still had my crystals that I just thought were there for pretties, but Jesus was like, hey, you use these crystals in rituals, so they've got to go. And then I was like, what? But they were a gift, but I spent so much money on them, or but they're just pretty. They're just sitting there. I'm never going to do anything with them. That's nefarious again, Lord. I'm not going to, do those things. I don't even have a desire for it. And then he kind of directed my focus to this area where I got, I had a crystal healing kit, and it was just all these crystals that I used for elixirs for making gem essences, basically. And I think what started to happen was just I started to remember how I would use the crystals and how I would set intentions with the crystals, and I would think that the crystals would bring me success and money and happiness and heal my relationships or protect me. It's all right now in my life, it's like embarrassing to remember certain things that I believed. And I'm going to do probably a whole episode on like the top 5 most embarrassing, most cringy things that I used to believe in the New Age. And it's not like to make fun of anyone. It's not to make fun of myself. It's not to shame myself or anything, but it's just to show the kind of like juxtaposition of where I was and how lost I was, and then how far God came to get me and to claim me and to bring me back to him. And so in that way, when I think about it like that, it's just so powerful, and it feels so big, and it feels so beautiful, and it still just feels sometimes so hard to believe of the things that I was into and the things that I was doing and the ways that I was sinning, and where God has, where I am today, where God has placed me, and what I'm doing and what I'm talking about now and what I believe. And I just feel so rooted in God and my trust and love for him that I am willing to let all of the things I used to believe go. And so that's why I wanted to share this story with you. So, so what I did was I had so many crystals. So when I was first saved, because I didn't know any better, I sold some crystals and I gave crystals away, and then I kept the ones that I was like, okay, these are like just the basic ones that I want to keep just because I love them. And it's so interesting that I was still in this place of like, but they're just beautiful, Lord. I just they're beautifying my space. And, but he was like, no, what's the real reason you're keeping them is that they were expensive. You spent a lot of money on them. And immediately, when I heard that, I knew that he was going to, drop some bombs on me. And immediately what he said to me, I wish I had written it down, but what the Lord said to me was, it costs a heavy price to follow me. And then he was basically like, make your choice. And so that felt really intense. I'm getting like shivers all over my body as I'm telling this story. But that just felt so intense. And then I just kind of really had this moment of like feeling him press in on me of like, you're still not fully trusting me. We're going through all this stuff together. I showed you everything. I've brought you to this place where you're at now. And now it's like the last piece, Eliza, of this old you, of what you're holding on to and what you're not wanting to see, right? And he's just so lovingly calling me in and calling me out at the same time of like, you're really just holding on to this because you spent a lot of money on it. But the ultimate price is this choice that you have of choosing me, and not everyone is going to choose that. And it just reminds me of in the Bible when there's someone who comes to Jesus and he's a rich man, and Jesus was like, like, you are a righteous person, like you're not sinning, you're doing all these things, right? It's good. But you're still like, you have a lot of money. So sell all your stuff and then come follow me. And then the guy walks away sad because he knows that he's not going to do that, or he can't do that in his heart, right? He knows that like he's still too obsessed with his riches and his abundance and his success and his status, basically, of and then wanting to love that more than loving Jesus. And I think in a way that's what Jesus was calling me out into. And so I just wanted to share this story with you because I feel like maybe this is for someone who's listening to this, or maybe it's, you're in a moment in your life where, especially if you're an ex-New Ager or even just a new believer, because when we're saved, right, we shift completely into new people. We're completely brand new. And so it's very overwhelming and it's very kind of jarring, especially in the beginning. And it doesn't stop, like it keeps progressing. We keep growing in our faith and our trust in God. And he's going to always be requiring us to dig deeper. And so if there is a place in your life right now where you are like doing what I'm doing or what I was doing of, holding on to something for some reason that doesn't matter anymore. Like, what does it matter to me? Like what I paid for the crystals or how they made my house look pretty. I used to use them for rituals, and I used to use them in witchcraft and crazy things that I don't believe in at all. And I have no desire to backslide, so it makes no logical sense why I was holding on to it. But instead I was telling myself a story of like, oh, I might need it one day, or maybe, someone will need something from me and I won't have it. I spent a lot of money on these crystals, thousands of dollars just wasted, and like, what does any of that matter? I can always recommend that someone come to the Lord instead of be believing in something like crystal healing. And it would be like a great opportunity for me to share the gospel with them instead of, whatever they might be coming to me for, that it is kind of like aligned with the old me, right? And the things that I used to teach and share, right? And so all these little stories that I had in my head just completely washed away by the goodness of God. And yeah, so if this is also something that you can resonate with, or you connect with, or you understand on some level, if you're an ex-New Ager and you've been saved or woken up out of New Age practices that you used to do, maybe it's time that you do kind of just look around your home. You can do it right now. You can walk around your home and see, where are the remnants? Where is there, something that's blocking me from going deeper with Jesus today? And so that's the message that I want to share with you. I hope that is helpful. And that's pretty much it. It was just a really simple thing that I wanted to talk with you about today. but I think it's important, is just where are the places in your life where, you know, you might be backsliding, or you might be having a challenge right now, or you're like, if I could just, you know, let this go. You know, just think about, I had maybe 2 to 3 big trash bags of junk of these old things that they were a block between me and God, you know, still. And so, you know, maybe it would be helpful to kind of look around your home and see crystals, I don't know, all the things that we could be into with the New Age. Symbolism. I know I used to have like a lot of jewelry that I tossed that had New Age symbolism, and crystals, any like crystal jewelry I got rid of. Things with like the flower of life symbol I had. I used to have like a flower of life symbol mouse pad, and I didn't realize that I was looking at that every day for a while right after I was saved, and you know, like I tossed that a while ago, but it was just like kind of just ingrained in what I saw every day. So I think that is another thing that we can kind of look at. Art that you have up in your home, all kinds of things, right? And it's just something, you know, take a minute to look around your space and see, is there something that's in my home that's giving off non-saved vibes, non-saved energy, and can you bring yourself to come closer to Jesus and step away from the darkness in like these last few places? Or maybe it's something that you haven't even started to do yet, and it's something that you're reflecting on and you need some support. So if you don't know where to start, just start with the thing that feels the biggest, maybe it's the thing that you go to, like your mind automatically knows the thing that you're supposed to toss or to get rid of, or to, like, you just need to get the stuff out of your house. You know, you need to get the crystals out of the house. You got to get whatever it is, the sage, the Palo Santo. That was a big one for me. I had to get rid of that stuff. I had to get rid of anything with symbols on it, any of like the crystal jewelry, all that kind of stuff. And I understand too, like, I have so much compassion for this because there's layers to it. There's the stuff that goes immediately and that you're super convicted when you're saved of like, whoa, this has got to go right away. And then there's things that happen more gently in layers, you know? And so it just felt, I would like to say too, that after I got rid of the crystals, it was like the fact of putting them in the trash can that was like, oh, this is hard. But I know and I trust in my love for the Lord. And that is the most important thing in my life. And so once I got the bags out of the house, it was so amazing because I felt so light and free. Like, again, it's like the joy of the Lord. And so, yeah, I just really want to encourage you. Just kind of like do an inventory through your life. Maybe it's even things that you have on your computer or that are on like back screen of your phone, like your phone wallpaper, or screenshots that you have in your phone, or pictures of yourself where you're in a place where you are doing witchcraft or dark things in the New Age and you just need to get it off your phone. Like, delete those pictures, you know? You don't need to save them as memories. And so, yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you. I hope that this is helpful. I hope that you feel my heart and know that this isn't coming from a judgmental place. It's coming from just the love of the Lord. And yeah, I love you so much. I hope that you are feeling the peace and the love and the joy of Jesus Christ in your heart and in your life. And yeah, if you have any questions or need support, or you're like, hey, I know that I need to get rid of this stuff, but I don't know how, or I don't know where to start, in the show notes, you'll find my email address. So contact me. I would love to be able to just kind of cheer you on and support you and encourage you. And of course, we could always, if you decide you really need to go deeper, I would love to work with you one-on-one. We have a few spaces open. I'm taking a less heavy client load in the summer. So I have 2 spots left for the next few weeks. So just reach out to me if that feels like something that you want to, you want like deeper support and accountability, and you have a lot of questions because you're a believer and like you're trying to figure it all out. That's my favorite way of working with clients now. So if you feel like you need that, reach out to me and we can talk about working together. Okay, so that's it for today. I love you so much. I hope that this episode and this story that I shared with you today is helpful and helps you to see how you might be needing to, just like that little edge, that little push to be like, okay, what were the places in my life where, I still have a wedge between me and Jesus because of some of the things that I'm still holding on to. And they don't have to be always physical things, but they can be, emotional things or memories or even feeling shame from the past. Just bring it to the Lord. Allow yourself to really open up to Him and allow Him to open up to you, and just bring what you're feeling up to the Lord. He loves you. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I'd be so grateful if you take a few seconds, hop over to iTunes or Spotify, wherever you're listening to this, and leave a review if you've enjoyed these episodes. And it'd be so fun to just keep connected with you, hear your suggestions of things you'd like me to cover in the future episodes. And you can do that through DM on our new Instagram page at Like the Dove, or you can email me info@elizacc.com. Don't forget, we have a really amazing freebie for you in the show notes called the New Believer Resource Library. It's full to the brim with book recommendations, Bibles I use and love, and all kinds of links and support for your walk with God. I hope it helps you. Okay, I'll see you in the next episode.